Good morning. Welcome to Second Parish this morning for those that are in person, slightly melting, and those that are at home and hopefully feeling a little cooler than we are this morning. I would like to remind everyone that we have our annual meeting following service today, which is in the sanctuary. Is that correct? Yes. So please maybe enjoy some lemonade or cookies from the kids outside, some coffee hour, and then we will be back in here for the annual meeting. If you are a member, we do need to make sure that we meet quorum, so please stay, and I will get you your own fan if you need it, if you're too hot. Any other announcements this morning? Yep.
Nolan, thank you. Could we just have members of the leadership board meet for 5 minutes in the minister's study right after the service? We need to take one vote. Thank you.
And if you didn't see the announcement in the weekly newsletter, the kids are out front selling lemonade for WomanAid. South Shore WomanAid provides funds for people who are in need across the South Shore. So we're hoping to catch some walkers and runners today, and hopefully some of you as well. And with that, let our service begin. Most of our music this morning is written by or performed by Black or LGBTQ composers. So I hope that you enjoy that tie-in to our celebration of Juneteenth and Pride today, as we will weave that through the service. Our call to worship this morning is the Juneteenth prayer by Reverend Allie K.C. Bell. Spirit of life, we lift our hearts and intentions to you. As we commemorate this day of freedom for many, let us not forget the enslaved people in states that fought for the Union, who are still waiting for their freedom on this day. We lift up both those who enslaved and those who were enslaved as we, their descendants, seek to reconcile our past, live righteously and freely in our present, and protect our future from repeating these histories of oppression. We do not know the hymn, and I picked this for Callie and, of course, forgot that they're going to be outside. So we are going to hear it through one time, and then we will join in. So if you would, as you are able, please stand as we sing together number 152, Follow the Drinking Gourd. Thanks for trying that hymn out today. Callie learned it in music class and has been singing it at home and was singing it while they were practicing this morning, so at least you got to enjoy it. We have a special moment in our service now where we are going to welcome one new member into our congregation. And I want to start with this prayer first. And it's in the hymnal, but you don't need to turn to it. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. So I would like to invite Bonnie. I'm going to make you come all the way up to sign the book. You've never been up here? Welcome. It's not too scary.
All right.
Bonnie, we are so thankful to have you joining our community, and let's give Bonnie a round of applause.
Can I go?
You can go, but go this way. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Yep. And we are going to attempt to light the chalice, knowing that it may go out. But if you would join me in reciting our second parish covenant. With love for each other and with respect for each person's search for truth and meaning, we unite to be of service to our neighbors and the larger world. All right, we'll see how long it stays, but thank you so much. Yeah. All right, one more thing, and I will come to you. We do have roses for you, and I have learned this, that when we do baby dedications, we take the thorns off of the roses because we are welcoming them gently into the world, but these have thorns on them to remind you that not everything is always easy, but we are always here to love and support you. We're still going to do a time for all ages because I have one little peanut up here. And this is a good story for all of us. All right, so Pia, are you going to listen to our story? Mama's going to read you a book. Okay, this is called Juneteenth. On June 19th each year, we celebrate a holiday called Juneteenth. We honor the holiday with family, food, and fun. We also reflect on African American history. And I'm going to show you the pictures. Pia likes to show us the pictures at home, too, when she reads us books. Today, we understand that everyone should be free and treated with kindness and respect. But a long time ago, that wasn't the case. Black people in America were not free to live their lives as they wanted to. Instead, they were enslaved and forced to work. This lasted for nearly 250 years. On January 1st, 1863, President Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, which declared that everyone should be free. But this didn't end slavery right away. Then, on June 19th, 1865, a man named General Granger went to Galveston, Texas. And if you don't know where Galveston is, it's like way, way far down in Texas. There he announced that all enslaved black people were free. It was a monumental and joyous day in American history. So these folks did not know that the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed. And they finally found out because they lived so far away from everyone else. This historic day was named Juneteenth. In the beginning, Juneteenth was a time for black people to reunite with family for praying and for figuring out how to move forward. Over the years, entertainment and other traditions became a part of these celebrations too, from rodeos to sporting events and prayer services. And of course, barbecuing. Juneteenth today recognizes African American freedom and achievement. It also encourages continuous self-development and respect for all cultures. And on this page, they have Martin Luther King Jr. and Shirley Chisholm. If you don't know who she is, I'm going to make you look it up. I'm not going to tell you. There are many different ways we can celebrate Juneteenth, from family cookouts and community events to supporting Black-owned stores and businesses. P is paying such good attention to this. Food is an important part of the Black community and culture. On Juneteenth, we often make traditional African American dishes. Some of these dishes are red because it's a color that represents power, sacrifice, and transformation in Black culture, which is something I did not know. I'm not going to read you all the things, but we have barbecue ribs, black-eyed peas, hibiscus tea and strawberry soda, cornbread, collard greens, and red velvet cake. In some places, there are Juneteenth festivals with entertainment and vendors and more, and there are parades and there are concerts. There's an event happening in Hingham Harbor. We have a little sign out front this year if you would like to attend. You can encourage these celebrations too. You can ask your school, library, or neighborhood to organize Juneteenth displays, signs, or events. You can volunteer by doing community service. You can create and share arts and crafts. You can educate others. Each year on Juneteenth, we will remember the history and legacy of Black people in America. Okay, so I have a timeline, I'm going to read it. 1619 was the beginning of slavery in the United States. 1866, after the Civil War, the Buffalo Soldiers were the first Black professional soldiers to serve during a time of relative peace. In 1909, the founding of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People happened. 1955 was the start of the Civil Rights Movement. And in 2008, Barack Obama was elected the first president of African American lineage to the United States. We will also look to the future as we celebrate freedom, unity, and treating one another with kindness. There's always progress to be made, and you can be part of it. So continue to think about Juneteenth as we go through our service today, and you're more than welcome to come look at this book after if you would like. We are not going to sing any children out today because they are already out selling lemonade. Printed in your order of service is the responsive reading. I invite you to join me in saying this. Written by Reverend Lisa Friedman. We hold hands to remember that we need one another. We join voices to remember that we each have a gift to offer the world. As we enjoy our solo, I invite you to write down any joys or concerns that you have on the yellow pads in your pew, and we will collect those at the conclusion of the solo.
Remember
in sharing our joys and concerns today. I always appreciate that you all participate and write things down. It's a joy to finally have a sunny weekend. No rain, knock on wood. The candle of joy to be part of Second Parish. Joy for Bonnie joining Second Parish. Welcome, Bonnie. Such a joy to welcome Bonnie as an official member of Second Parish. See, this is such good news today. It is a joy to welcome a flood of family coming from near and far. A joy for Sean Gallagher and a big thank you for his service to Second Parish. A joy for all the kids out front of the church this morning. Let us listen to our pastoral prayer today, a prayer for Juneteenth by Reverend Ade Amakraba. Creator of all, as believers in justice, woven into a single garment of life, make us one with the human family. Let us rejoice for those who safely passed through the shades of night. With grateful hearts, we lift our voices in shared solidarity, holding each other safe. Our silent meditation is a little longer maybe than usual today, and it was written by the Soul Matters team, and it's called With the Encouragement of Others. Our meditation this morning comes from a piece written by Danielle Laporte called The Manifesto of Encouragement. During this month of reflecting on what it means to flourish together, we acknowledge that it is easy to see our flourishing as a solo act, something that we must forge for ourselves. Laporte reminds us not only that we can't go it alone, but that we don't have to go it alone, because there is a world out there rooting for us and sending us encouragement, even if we forget this is so. May her words help us remember. Let us turn inward in the spirit of meditation and prayer. Right now, there are Tibetan Buddhist monks in a temple in the Himalayas, endlessly reciting mantras for the cessation of your suffering and for the flourishing of your happiness. Someone you haven't met yet is already dreaming of adoring you. Someone is writing a book that you will read in the next 2 years that will change how you look at life. Nuns in the Alps are in endless vigil, praying for the Holy Spirit to alight the hearts of all God's children. A farmer is looking at their organic crops and whispering, "Nourish them." Someone wants to kiss you, to hold you, to make tea for you. Someone is willing to lend you money, wants to know what your favorite food is, and treat you to a movie. Someone in your orbit has something immensely valuable to give you for free. Something is being invented this year that will change how your generation lives, communicates, heals, and passes on. The next great song is being rehearsed. Thousands of people are in yoga classes right now, intentionally sending light out from their heart chakras and wrapping it around the earth. Millions of children are assuming that everything is amazing and will always be that way. Someone just this second wished for world peace in earnest. Some civil servant is making sure that you get your mail and your garbage is picked up, that the trains are running on time, even to the World Cup Boston Stadium, and that you are generally safe. Someone is dedicating their days to protecting your civil liberties and clean drinking water. Someone is curing the incurable. And now, as we take these words with us into a moment of shared silence, may we also remember that among all the someones wishing us well, many are also in this room. I have a shared prayer listed here, but I don't have anything in my notes, so we're going to skip that this morning and go right into our offering. So now is the time where our offerings will now be given and received.
The waters
Our reading this morning is a reflection. It's an excerpt from a piece called Becoming a People by Reverend Cameron Trimble. James Baldwin once said that a people do not come into being automatically. They become a people through what they are willing to face together. Throughout history, there have been movements when collective action has reshaped what is possible. The civil rights movement showed how sustained courage and persistence in the face of struggle could move an entire nation. People gathered not only for a day, but over months and years, turning protest into lasting change. A crowd can gather quickly. A people takes time. Howard Thurman pressed this even further. He asked what happens to the human spirit under sustained pressure, conditions in which fear, control, and inequality shape daily life. His concern was not only what systems do, but what those systems do to us. Today's sermon, Nobody's Free Until Everybody's Free, encompasses Juneteenth and Pride, which are two stories of liberation. These stories are still ongoing. We have room to grow, room for improvement, and yet more battles are arising that we become passionate about to fight as well. I'm going to tell you things that are deeply personal to me and are uncomfortable for me to talk about. And so I expect that you might feel uncomfortable as well. I grew up in very white, rural Pennsylvania. When I was younger, my mom and dad would go to work in the summertime, and my grandfather would come over to watch us. He mostly sat in the recliner and drank pot after pot of coffee. There was a show, I think it was on Nickelodeon at the time, called Gullah Gullah Island. And this was a great show about the Gullah Geechee people. I think they're off the coast of South Carolina on one of the islands there. And it was so cute. They had a little pollywog frog that was their mascot, and it was real people and real Gullah Geechee people. And I knew that my grandpa was racist because of how he referred to the people in those shows. I grew up in white, rural Pennsylvania where racism was very openly expressed, where even when I was in college, a classmate of mine said something extremely racist to me in public when I was getting my hair cut. I grew up with mostly white people. In fact, the only people of color, not the only, but mostly the only people of color in the town I grew up in were at the George Junior Republic. And this was part of our school system, but it was a juvenile detention center within our town. I have a couple relatives that worked there. One of my favorite math teachers still teaches there. And these are kids who, instead of being incarcerated, are coming to a step-down program, usually from the eastern side of the state, so like the Philadelphia area. That was my exposure to people of color growing up. So here I am, having grown quite a bit from those days of watching Gullah Gullah Island and listening to the words that my grandfather said. And so we are going to walk through our 7 principles this morning, and I'm going to tell you a story related to my own growth and development. Our first principle is that the inherent worth and dignity of every person. I would say growing up that I treated everyone the same, and it's not until recently that I realized that some of my classmates from elementary school through high school were actually of different nationalities. I treated them all the same, and yet I didn't fully understand the struggle that they went through. Being in a very white Protestant town with no other religions within a 20-mile radius. I didn't understand how hard their life might be. To me, they were just another classmate. And for some people, that's fine. And now looking back, I wish I had known and been able to recognize who they were and the struggle that they had living in the very racist town that still exists today, that I grew up in. Our second principle, justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. I'm going to say that one again, it's really good. Justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. So I went to college still in Western Pennsylvania, and then I came to seminary in Boston. And I started working at the New England Aquarium, many of you know that, and I worked with teenagers. These teenagers were very different from the ones that I grew up with, and we did a lot of really cool things in this youth development program. One of the things that we did every summer was go to a youth summit with other cultural organizations from the East Coast and the Mid-Atlantic. So here I am, probably 25, and my coworker, a white man, also probably about 25, rented a minivan and took 5 black teenagers to Virginia. I didn't think anything of it. These were my kids. You know, I treated them as if they were my own, and their parents were like, yeah, you can go, right? They trusted me with them completely. And we're in the cornfields of Maryland, and we needed gas, so we pull over, and all the kids pile out of the van to go, you know, like get snacks and go to the bathroom. And I didn't realize, but my students did, 16-year-old, 17-year-old kids, that we were getting looks. 2 25-year-old white people with a van full of black teenagers, you can imagine what people might have been thinking. And so being very culturally aware, one of my kids, his name is Steven, he is in his 30s today, he says very loudly, so everyone in this parking lot can hear, "Hey, Mom, I'm going to the bathroom. I'll be back soon." He understood what needed to happen in that moment, and I had no idea. And that eased the tension a little bit, but it made me think. It made me think about my privilege in being able to just roll up to a gas station in rural Maryland and not worry about anything. And not even consider that I'm some 25-year-old white woman with 5 black kids in a minivan and how that must look. Our third principle, acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregations. We may not all agree in this room. We may not all agree with other UUs. We may not agree with other congregations in the way that they do their business and do their church life. And that's okay. We may not agree with people, but it doesn't mean that they need to be in our lives. And this is a really hard thing for us to learn and understand, and for me in particular. I do not agree with or get along with my family of origin hardly at all. I moved 500 miles away, and I will never move back. And it took a long time of wrestling with that understanding of how much I love my family to understand how much harm they were causing me. And so now there are very strict barriers. We have boundaries in place. I do not have a relationship with several of my siblings and step-siblings because we don't agree on things, and it is not worth my time to try to convince them otherwise. And it, in fact, brings me more harm. So when we are accepting of one another and encouraging of spiritual growth, it doesn't mean at our own detriment. It means putting ourselves in places where we feel loved and welcomed, and not engaging in conversation that we know is not going to change anyone's minds. We can make boundaries as hard as it might be. We can make boundaries with our families, with other friends. We can have a mutual understanding that we don't talk about certain topics when we are together because we are just both going to not be okay at the end of that conversation. So this acceptance and encouragement doesn't mean you have to be in those places with people. It means being in the places that you feel loved. And for me and for our family, this means having chosen family. Family that we can rely on, family that encourages us, family that has the same morals and values and principles as we do. And that's hard. And if you want to know more, you can always ask me someday. I'll tell you some terrible stories. Our fourth principle, a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. I taught a training this past week at the Worcester Courthouse for victim advocates. And the training is called The Toll of Working with Trauma. And in that training, we talk about a moral imperative. Okay? In social work circles, there is a moral imperative for self-care. It is ethical as well for us to continue working on self-care, to be able to show up and do the hard things that we do as social workers. And this ethical imperative implies to many other things in our lives, whether it is strictly written or not. And for me, this fourth principle reminds us that we have a moral and ethical imperative to keep learning. We must keep learning. We must learn new things. We must meet new people. We must continue to grow and evolve and change. And so in this comes in my chosen family and friends who embrace each other for exactly who we are. I have a friend who's Muslim, and she is teaching me more about her culture and religion. In fact, my Instagram feed is a lot of Muslim culture things now. And I teach her about navigation and constellations. I have another friend who has encouraged me to join her in gardening and has gotten me into beekeeping. And for her, I bring my children, who give her a lot of joy and who feel very welcome in her home and help themselves to whatever is in her fridge, whether they should have it or not. We learn and grow from each person that we meet, each conversation that we have, each predicament and experience that we find ourselves in. And we have an ethical imperative to keep learning, to keep searching for truth and understanding and meaning in this world. Our fifth principle, the right of conscience and the use of the democratic process within our congregations and in society at large. Okay, this one was a little bit tricky, but I landed on a good example. So when I think of the democratic process, I think of courthouses. I was just at a courthouse this past week teaching that training, and if you've never been to the Worcester Courthouse, it is beautiful, and you should go. It's fairly new. It's absolutely, you didn't feel like you were in a courthouse at all. Twice a week when I drive to Brockton for my internship, I drive past the Brockton Courthouse. And that courthouse I have spent time in. Why? Well, we want to protect our family. And as a same-gender couple, in Massachusetts, we are fine. Both of our names are on the birth certificate for our kids. But if we traveled out of state or out of country or somewhere else that was not quite so welcoming, that birth certificate is not a legal document. And we could still be denied access to our children, say, if they were in the hospital. only the birth mother would be allowed in if someone decided to be so strict. So we've spent time at the Brockton Courthouse adopting our own kids. And we did this to protect ourselves and our families, to have that legal document. They got new birth certificates, which are exactly the same as they were before. But we have the adoption paperwork so that we are legally covered. And every time I tell someone this, they're like, I had no idea you had to do that. And luckily, in Massachusetts, it cost us parking and a day off from work. And in fact, Leander was adopted during COVID. We didn't even have to go to a hearing. They literally just sent his paperwork in the mail and was like, you're all set. It is a very easy process here in Massachusetts, but across the country, it is not. Across the country, other same-sex families have to go through a home visit, like you would if you were adopting a child, perhaps out of the foster care system. They have to do psychological interviews. They have to pay for a lawyer and for court fees to have legal access to their own children. I share this not to show you the struggle, although that is certainly a part of this story, but to say that there are democratic processes, and some are very important, especially to protecting your families. So sometime this year, we are going to have an educational night about wills and family trusts so that you can also be protected, and that is important as well. Our sixth principle, the goal of world community with peace, liberty, and justice for all. Pia said, yay. I agree. Yay. We sit here today recognizing that there are still many communities being targeted because of what they look like, who they worship, who they love, or where they live. Pick any issue in the world, and you can be passionate about it. Whether it's here in the U.S. or whether it's abroad in other countries, there are things going on in this world that do not promote peace, liberty, and justice. And so I invite you to think about what is important to you. What fight is important to you? What is one thing that you can stand behind and do good work on? Because we know we can't do all the things. I can't be in all of the fights that I would really like to be in. But I can pick one or maybe two and put myself into those places. Happy to have a conversation with you, during the week or after church about some of the things that I am passionate about. But this is up to you and your family and your comfort level in how to get involved in this search for peace and liberty and justice. Our seventh and last principle is respect for the interdependent web of all existence which we are a part. The interdependent web. Herein comes the title of this sermon, Nobody's Free Until Everybody's Free. To me, this is what this quote means. We are all interconnected, and one person's struggle should be everyone's struggle. This quote was said by Fannie Lou Hamer, who was a civil rights activist. And putting this quote into context, she talked a lot about the interconnectedness of systems of oppression. That is very broad, and for you, it can be very specific. You can identify systems of oppression that you see. You can identify ways in which the world is unfair. And remember that nobody is free until everybody is free. So perhaps some of the things I shared with you today made you a little uncomfortable. Maybe you felt it in your stomach, or in your chest, or in your heart, or in your head. It's not comfortable for me to share some of those things, but I think it's important. It's important to understand that to become a people, we must know and share about ourselves, about the things that we've struggled with, about the things that we've learned about ourselves and our community and the world. To become a people, we are under sustained pressure, as Howard Thurman told us. We are under conditions in which we know that things must change. And together, we work together to look at what the systems do and what they do to us. And as we move together in this congregation, in this community, in this country, in this world, we hope that one day everyone will be free. I invite you now to stand as we join together in our closing hymn, of which we also do not know. I am so sorry about that. This was recommended in the back of the hymnal as an LGBTQ sort of liberation hymn, so that is why I chose it. So we will hear it once, and then we will sing it together.
Thank you.
Our closing words are a rainbow blessing from Cricket Hall. May the drag stage rise to meet you. May the world rise to accept and embrace you. May the rainbow of love enfold you. May you be able to catch others when they need it. And until we meet again, may you remember that you are loved and you are divine.